Now I will show you how to attach the sleeves, and what you do is that you begin from the beginning of the row and knit as I have done until you reach the first place where you cast off 8 stitches for the sleeve. So now I find the sleeve. Here you can see this is underneath where I have all my increases, and here's the here you can see the 8 stitches that were cast off from under the underside of the sleeve. So if I place the two towards each other like this, 8 stitches from the body of the sweater, 8 stitches here from the sleeve, then I have the correct placement of the sleeve, and I can find my working yarn, which is the one from the body of the sweater here, and I will begin to knit the stitches from this needle here on and over onto this one. So I will knit the sleeve stitches onto the needle where I keep the stitches that belong to the body of the sweater. The first stitch a bit tight, make sure it gets close to the last stitch here, and just keep going like this, and I will continue to knit all the sleeve stitches, and I will get back to you and show you how it looks like when I finish this sleeve. Now I have all my sleeve stitches from here to here knitted onto the same circular needle as the rest of the sweater, and here you can see the 8 stitches that I cast off on the sleeve, and here you have the 8 stitches on the body of the sweater, so they meet here. And I will continue to knit now stitches from the body of the sweater, and I will knit until I reach the point where I want to place my second sleeve, and repeat the operation, and then knit back to the beginning of the row. And here you can see there. So sleeve and the body of the sweater. Like this. So now both sleeves are attached, and I am back here at the beginning of the row, and I am ready to begin to knit my pattern. And here this color, the main color for the sweater, I will call the bottom color, and the one I'm adding will be the pattern color. And when I knit with 2 colors, I keep the bottom color here and the pattern color like this, so I have the bottom color close to me and the pattern color away from me. and I will just begin to knit, and when I want pattern I just pick up the pattern color instead of the bottom color, and I continue, and I just choose which color I pick up and bring through my stitch. So I will continue to knit my pattern, and when it is time to decrease for the first time, I will get back to you on how I do that. And you may choose, like me, to keep your pattern color away from you, or you can have it here if you like, but it is probably a good idea to keep it at the same place throughout your project, so that they don't switch places all the time, because it's difficult to get the same tension on both yarns, so that if you switch them often, you are likely to get an uneven pattern. So the easiest way to get a good looking pattern is to keep them at the same place. So now I have begun my pattern, and now I'm at the first row where I want to decrease, and when I decrease I knit as I have done on the rest of the sweater until I reach the place where I want to decrease, and then instead I just knit, but instead of picking up one stitch like this, I pick up two, and I knit 2 stitches together. So that's one decrease, and then I continue to knit the number of stitches that I want before the next decrease. And in the pattern you choose to follow, you will find how many decreases you should have in one row to make it fit the pattern. And sometimes the pattern says that you should decrease, say, 30 stitches in one row, and then if you have say you have 300 stitches, then you divide 300 by 30, and you know that you have to knit 30 stitches. No, that's 10. Okay, so you have to knit 10 stitches and decrease, 10 stitches and decrease. So again, I knit 2 stitches together. So to find out how many stitches between each decrease, you go look in your pattern, how many decreases should you have in a row, and you divide that number with the number of stitches you have in all on your needle, and then you will get the number of stitches between each decrease. So now I will continue to make my decreases in this row. After that I continue to knit my pattern until I reach the next row where I decrease more, and I continue like that until I reach the place where I want to begin to knit the neck, and when I do I will get back to you with the next step. So now I have finished all my decreases and I'm ready to begin the ribbing on the neck. And when I do, I want to change back into my thinner needles again. And I do it the same way as I have done before. I just begin to knit the stitches from this needle and onto the thinner one that I want now. So for the ribbing, I continue to knit and purl, knit and purl every other stitch, and I will continue until I have all my stitches on my thinner needle, and then I will continue to knit around and around until my neck ribbing is long enough, and then I will get back to you on how to cast off. And now if I stretch it a bit, now you can see what I am talking about when I say that the stitches sit differently on the needle. You can see here that the knit stitches, they go from right to left, they angle, and the purl stitches, they go the opposite way here. And yeah, actually you could see here you have two stitches angling from left to right, and you can see here I have done 2 purl stitches in a row. So by looking at it, I now discovered I had made a mistake as well. So I have to redo these stitches, or this one actually, and go from there. And I will get back to you when it is time to cast off. Now I have finished the ribbing on my neck, and I'm ready to cast off and finish the sweater. If you want to fold the neck double like this and attach on the wrong side, you just knit a longer ribbing. So what I do is when I cast off, I begin by knitting the 2 first stitches. I follow the ribbing here, so that I will knit 1 and purl 1, and I slip the first stitch over the second like that, and then I yarn over, I think it is called, and I knit another stitch, and then I slip both this yarn and the first stitch over the second. I yarn over again and I purl 1 stitch, then I take both and slip over the other stitch, and I keep going like this until I have cast off all stitches. The reason why I do the yarn over now when I cast off is because I want the neck to be elastic and easy to pull over the head. So you can do it in a different way if you like. I just prefer this one. So now that's it, and if you're interested in the pattern or stitch numbers, you can just go visit the blog that I have placed a link to in the video description below the video window.